I'm absolutely certain acute respiratory illnesses are not infectious or contagious. There's 100 years of evidence to say that. And I've not persuaded my wife completely of this, but I am sure of it. So when they tell you there's bird flu going around, it's like, no, there isn't. They may well be ill, but they're not, poor little sweetie pie is not going to cough up some pathogen and make you sick. It's a psyop. It's an absolute psyop. You're more likely to catch dolphin influenza.
Wow.
So I'm certain about that because I've read the bloody literature. I've read the 100 years of literature that says that attempts to transmit people who've got colds, they put them in rooms with people who didn't have colds and then follow them for several weeks. And they did the same experiment by putting 2 healthy people in a room. And the question was, how many of the recipients in each case would get sick? And you'd be pretty sure, wouldn't you, that if colds were transmissible, that more people would get cold symptoms in the next few weeks if they sat for an hour or two with someone with a cold. They don't. It's been published about 40 times. So, sorry, that's your mental model. It's wrong.
So you can't catch a cold?
No. And when people they go, oh no, well you say that, Dr. Yeadon, but I know that I had a cold and I definitely caught it from the guy in the office. It's like, I put it to you, I have thought about this because it's not incumbent on me to come up with an explanation, right, that for how they do work, given I've shown you that you're being lied to. But I just think it's easier if I give you some suggestions. Common colds are sufficiently common that if you have one, it's not that unlikely that someone known to you, family member or friend, will also get a cold in the next short period of time. And when that happens, the person who got it second thinks they got it from you. Right? It's consistent with contagion, but it isn't. The other one is whatever it is that causes these acute symptoms. I think there will be an environmental contribution. Maybe it's too hot, too cold, too dry, too much pollen, or whatever it is. Well, you and that person that you think you got it from shared some of that environment or some of the food. So I think it's coincidence and shared environments. That's what explains contagion. Anyway, so I have now satisfied myself about viruses and colds and flu and contagion. When people say, what about Black Death? It's like, I don't know. I don't give a monkeys about Black Death. I'm not going to think about that. What's measles then? I don't know. Next. It's like, it's not my job to provide education for the world. I've told you, you're being lied to about COVID and you're being lied to about bird flu, and they're trying to persuade you to give up your freedom and let them stab toxins in you. Isn't that enough?
Have you now moved into the no virus camp?
Yeah, I think it's,
Just tell us why.
I was helped by somebody who had recently made the transition, and he said, you don't have to go into a position of saying, I don't believe in viruses. You can say, because it's true, that there is no convincing evidence for the presence of them. And I've not seen any convincing evidence for the presence of them.